Ek moet gou vir my die ding oopmaak hier dat jy kan. As I said, I will put this on the group so you can see this later on when you get home. The first question you have to do, die eerste vraagie was in my opinie nie verskriklik moeilik nie, maar kom ons kyk maar wat jy reg gekry het. You cannot see anything at the moment, want daar is niks wat ek vir jou kan wys nie. Right, the first question, if you look at the information from the start, remember you must read the information supplied at the start of the question. Boys, you need to pay attention. You need to pay attention. Now I'm waiting, Mr. Saka, where's your books? Right. You need to read the information from the start. Here they tell you that this is a business that sells televisions. Hulle sê if you're die eienaar is, they tell you that they use the weighted average method of stock valuation. That's very important. Please take your highlighter and highlight that. Dis verskriklik belangrik. Dat jy kan sien met watter voorraad waardasiestelsel jy gaan werk. Please make sure that's the first question. We're supposed to do for homework, but I guess you didn't do that. Did you do this for homework? No, why would you do that? Why would you worry about doing homework? Yes. I said all of them. I said you don't have to do question number 3, you have to do question 1 and 2. But can we carry on, please? Okay, right. So question number 3 is something that I want to explain because it's not really to do with inventory valuation. It is actually problem solving. There's a difference between the two. Question 1 of the inventory valuation. I hope you've done this. If you didn't do this, this is in paper 2. You are going to get this in paper 2. Now, September, November, jy gaan dit definitief kry. Jy kan nie daarvan wegkom nie. Right, so please make sure that you underline or highlight that you know what method of stock valuation you're going to use. Here they tell you weighted average. Gewichte gemiddeld is die een waar jy hoeveel eenhede jy het wat om te verkoop. Take the number of units and you need to see how much money you spend on the number of units available. Money divided by the units will give you the average weighted price per unit. Dis wat jy moet uitwerk by gewichte gemiddelde. En dan verder sê hulle vir jou, hulle gebruik die periodieke voorraadstelsel. Periodic inventory system is the one where you don't have a cost of sales, you have to calculate cost of sales. And you will always use periodic inventory system in inventory valuation, want jy moet die eindvoorraad se saldo gaan bereken. En eindvoorraad se saldo gaan 'n effek hê op jou koste van verkope. Right, first question says you have to calculate the value of the closing stock. As jy na die inligting gaan kyk, kan jy sien there's 220 units, that's your closing stock. You have to use the weighted average method, so hoe moet jy nou maak? You first have to calculate the number of units available to sell en hoeveel het dit vir jou gekos. Dis wat jy eerste moet gaan bereken. There was available to sell the 49 units at the start of the year. Kyk 'n bietjie mooi, die beginvoorraad was 49 eenhede. 49 units at the start of the year. You bought 788 units. Dit was mos ook beskikbaar om te verkoop. And of the 788, you returned 7 units. So hoeveel eenhede het jy beskikbaar? The 49 plus the 788 minus the 7. Dit gee vir my op die ou end 830 eenhede. That's how many units is available to sell. Didn't mean you sell all of them, that's what was available to sell. Hoeveel het dit vir jou gekos? What did it cost you in total? The opening number of units, the amount for that was 195,424. Dis hoeveel geld dit jou gekos het. The 788 units that you bought, they gave you how much money you spent. 4,034,660 rand. Julle gesien? The 7 units that was returned, you had to remember that you had to take the 7 units times the price per unit. Jy moes die 7 eenhede gevat het, vermenigvuldig met die prys per eenheid. The 7 units was 5,512 rand per unit. So as jy dit nou gaan uitwerk, the total cost, I took the value of the opening stock, the money we spent on the 788 units, I added that to the opening stock, and I minus the 7 units that I returned. That gave me an amount of 4,191,500. Is that right? Those of you did it? 4,191,500. So now I know how many units I have available to sell. Ek weet ook hoeveel daai aantal eenhede vir my gekos het. What is my weighted average? The amount of money spent, the 4 million and something, divide by the number of units, the 830 units, to kry ek per eenheid, is it 5,050 rand. Het julle dit ook gekry per unit? That was the weighted average per unit, 5,050 rand. What is the value of my closing inventory then? The number of units which they supplied, 220, times the 5,050, vermenigvuldig met die 5,050, then I get 1,111,000. Dis 10 punte werd daai sommetjie. It's 10 marks. It's not a difficult calculation. You just need to remember, for weighted average, I need 2 things. I need the total number of units available to sell, and I need the total amount I spent on those number of units. Do you understand that? As ek dit weet, ek weet hoeveel geld het ek spandeer op al die eenhede wat beskikbaar is om te verkoop, dan vat ek my geld gespandeer, gedeel deur my aantal eenhede, geef my die prys per eenheid. Is there anyone who has a problem? If I know the price per unit times the number of units in my closing stock gives me the value of my closing stock. Dis 10 punte. Who would have gotten the 10 marks? 1, 2, 3, right? The next question was, die volgende vraagie was gewees, bereken die bruto wins vir die jaar, calculate the gross profit for the year. You now know that gross profit is sales minus cost of sales. By die periodieke voorraadstelsel is daar nie 'n koste van verkoop nie. There is no cost of sales. Mr. Sacco, are you paying attention? There is no cost of sales, so that means I must calculate cost of sales. Hoe bereken ek koste van verkope? It is opening stock plus net purchases. Net purchases is purchases minus returns, plus carriage if there is, import duty if there is, minus closing stock, né? Hoe kry mense weer koste van verkope? Dis begin voorraad, plus netto aankope. Netto aankope is wat ek gekoop het, minus wat ek, hou op die goed rondgooi. Kom, hier is nou al graad 12. You are going to be so sorry for yourselves when you get this exam paper. And you only have yourself to blame. How many of you did do this homework, by the way? Just put up your hand. I'm not going to do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All of the homework. Question 1, exercise 1 and 2. Who did exercise 1? Who did exercise 1? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 out of the 26. Then you do not understand why your marks look the way it does. Because you sit here day after day, you do nothing, you wait for the screen, so you can copy. I won't be sorry if it's November this year, really. Enough is really enough. Right, so cost of sales, I need to take the opening stock, which was supplied. Jy het moes op begin voorraad gekry. Netto aankope. What is net sales? They gave you the amount of sales. You had to remember to minus the 7 that you returned. Daar was nie invoerregte nie, daar was nie vraggeld nie, and you had to minus closing stock. If I do that, I see that cost of sales is 3,080,500. Is that right? Is it reg, Sebastian? 3,080,500 rand. Is dit reg? How do I get my gross profit then? I must take sales minus cost of sales, and in the end, that amount was 369,470. I will put the link of this on the group as well. For those of you who didn't do your homework, you can copy my work, it's fine. 369,470, is that okay? Are we fine? Goed, die volgende vraagje was gewees. Calculate the value of the stock using the first in, first out method. Nou moet jy dieselfde inligting vat en nou moet jy gaan kyk hoeveel van, wat is die waarde van die voorraad as jy eerste in, eerste uit gebruik. Which means you must check the stock that was bought last. Because the stock bought last is the stock that you will still have. Because first in, first out tells you the stock you bought first will be sold first. So what is your closing stock? The stock you bought last. Daar's 220 eenhede oor aan die einde van die jaar. The last stock you bought was 200 units, of which you returned 7. Het jy dit gesien? So 193 times the 5512 will give you the value of 193 units. Jy kort 220 eenhede. So the second last units, gaan jy nog 27 van oor hê. Hoe weet ek dit? Because I need 220 units in total. Of the 220, 193 was what bought last. The other share, how do I know it's 27? I took 220 minus the 193. The other 27 will come from the stock bought second last, en dit was gewees R5,145 per eenheid. That was 5145 per unit. So what is the total value of my closing stock using first in, first out? 1,202,731 rand. Is dit reg? 1,202,731. 1,202,731. Right. Now it's always the next question. Explain the effect on gross profit if the first in, first out method is used. By eerste in, eerste uit is jou slotvoorraad meer werd. First in, first out, the value of your closing inventory will be higher. Why? Because that's the stock you bought last. And the stock you bought last will obviously be, you had to pay more for that than the stock you bought at the start of the year. Is julle by daarmee? So if they ask you, what happens with, what is the effect of FIFO on your gross profit? It will always increase gross profit because the fact that your closing stock is a higher amount decreases cost of sales. And if cost of sales is lower, gross profit must be higher. Is julle by? Eerste in, eerste uit gaan altyd jou bruto wins verhoog. Hoekom verhoog het jou bruto wins? Want slotvoorraad se waarde is hoër. As slotvoorraad se waarde hoër is koste van verkope minder. Koste van verkope minder gee vir jou 'n hoër bruto wins. How do I get gross profit? It's sales minus cost of sales. So if cost of sales is lower, then gross profit must be higher. Ek het dit nou die dag ook gesê. Is julle by? Are we fine? Right. The next one. Volgende vraag weer. As the internal auditor, explain the benefits of using the FIFO method to the owner and the accountant. State 2 benefits. Ek net gou net my dinge hier so. Okay, right. State 2 points. Right. Ek het nou eintlik dit al reeds gesê, maar gaan dit nou maar weer sê. Higher gross profit there's a higher gross profit because the value of the closing stock is higher. Value of closing stock higher gives you higher gross profit. Hoekom gaan ek, wat is jou eerste ding wat jy gaan sê? Jy gaan 'n groter bruto wins hê van die waarde van jou eindvoorraad is meer. En as eindvoorraad meer is, gaan jy jou bruto wins meer maak. Is jy by? Or you could have said, cost of sales will be lower. Jy kon gesê het koste van verkope is minder. Same thing. The second thing I said, that the stock was valued at the most recent prices. Dit word teen die mees onlangse pryse gewaardeer. Dit beteken, jy sit ook met jou nuwe voorraad, there's less chance of that stock becoming obsolete or outdated. Jy sit mos, onthou eerste in eerste uit beteken, jy sit met jou nuutste voorraad. What didn't you sell? The latest inventory. So you have less chances of that stock being obsolete or outdated. Is jy erbij? Groot, dat is baie minder kans dat die voorraad wat is outdated? Gee vir 'n woord vir outdated, is nou Afrikaanse woord. Dat dit die voorraad oud gaan raak of uit die mode uit sal raak. Is jy erbij? Of die tegnologie sou verbeter het. Right? You could also have said that the gross profit is now based on current market values. Jy kon gesê die bruto wins is nou gebaseer op die huidige markwaardes. And then the easiest one to remember, it is a much easier method to use. First in, first out is much easier than weighted average because weighted average you have to calculate the weighted average. Here you just check the stock that you bought last. Dis 'n baie makliker manier om te bereken. Dan sê hulle vir jou, the next question was John Fortune feels that he was not able to achieve the targeted markup percentage for 2019. Jy moet 'n berekeningkie gaan doen om vir hom te wys of hy korrek is of sy korrek is. How do I calculate markup percentage? I need gross profit on cost of sales. Ek het bruto wins op koste van verkope nodig. You've calculated gross profit. Dit was mos gewees die 300 and something thousand rand. You calculated cost of sales, that was the 3 million and something. Remember, both of those amounts were calculated amounts. So if you used your wrong amounts in the correct way, you will get 2 of the 3 marks. As jy dit doen op die ou end times 100, ek kry 12% was 11,99 something percent, it's 12% in total. So it is true, his markup was, he aimed I think for 25% at the start of the question, they told you that. Hy het probeer vir 25%, hy het net 12% gekry. Dankie. Skryf. Okay. Die graad 11 en 10, mevrou wat die juniors gaan glad nie skryf nie, 11, 10, hulle gaan nie Afrikaans skryf aan die einde van die kwartaal nie, né? Opstelle nie. Maar ek sê hulle gaan ook nie skryf, so julle gaan niks skryf nie. Okay, dankie.
Goeiemôre. Ek kyk net of ons selfone gebeure is.
Ag hulle hierso is nog in die klas waarvan 'n klomp weer afwesig is, van die wat jy net 11 huiswerk gedoen. Dis wonderlik, né?
Seker nie ek kerkkind nie.
Ja, dis besig graad 12, hulle gaan volgende jaar oor doen.
Ja, is dit gedoen volgens. Wat? Disaster gaan op Facebook sit. Sis. En ek herken jy sê vir die meneer? Jo. Wat sê dit? Okay. Ja, is dat gedoen? Okay. Weet jy wat ek daar is gedoen? Kyk my voor. Wat ek daar is gedoen? Ha? Toe maar gelukkig het ek in 1980 graad 12 geskryf. Nou kan julle uittel. En jy loop in die gange met jou selfoon, nou ignoreer jy my flat. Ja, kyk om. Ek het nou so 3 graad 10 wat dieselfde sommer in een klas wat teken, nou sy oupa my teken hulle uit. Nou wat ek eintlik moet vertel, ek het vir Lokner gesien. Tasha Lokner gesien. En gister het ek van my sê, jy fees mos van julle, het ons jou fees
Right, first of all, that was 12%. Nou vra hulle vir jou, jy het nou 2 voorstelle gee, hoe kan hy nou die 12% meer kry? 2 suggestions so that he can improve his profit markup. Onthou, winsgrense te doen met bruto wins. The profit markup has to do with the gross profit. Gross profit is sales minus cost of sales. So if you want to increase the profit market, you must either increase sales of jy moet koste van verkope verminder. Dis jou 2 opsies. There's nothing else you can do. So you can either you are getting this question June, September, November. They are going to ask you, suggest ways to improve the profit markup percentage. There's only 2 things. You can just talk about sales and cost of sales. Verkope om dit meer te kry, is daar baie dinge wat jy kan doen. You can advertise more. Jy kan meer, daar staan nie, they don't ask you to prove your comments by using indicate figures or anything. This is common sense. So advertise more, increase your target market. Moenie net adverteer in Kuilsrivier, for example. Increase countrywide. Advertise, so that's one way to increase sales. Increase your advertising, make your target market bigger. If you advertise wider, more people will know about your business, maybe you will get more sales. Dis die eerste ding wat ek sal sê. The second thing, I need to add something. Why will a customer choose my business? Ek moet my diens moet beter wees. How can I improve my service? Maybe I must have an after-sales service. Miskien moet ek sê ek het 'n naverkope diens. Or I give you a 3-month no questions asked guarantee on the product. Miskien kan ek dit doen. Think what will get you the customer in my shop and not in my competitor's shop. Dis wat jy moet doen. So, jy het niks uit te waai met rekeningkunde nie. Hierdie is 'n soort van common sense. So that's the why. You can also say, I'm going to have a big sale. But remember, a big sale means that you can only have a sale, or you must say, I have a promotion on a product. And if I have a product on promotion, gaan my klante kom, hulle gaan ander produkte ook koop. But you can't say I have a store-wide sale, want dan gaan jy nie jou verkope verhoog nie. Because a store-wide sales means you have to drop your selling prices. Is jy by? So jy moet eers choose one product. I'm going to have a sale or I'm going to have a special on one product. And hopefully that will get more people in my business, more people that will buy other stuff, not just only whatever is on sale. Is jy by daarmee? Customer benefits, that's another thing. That is thinking like an accountant. Customer benefits. Hoekom dink jy dit al wat 'n winkel het deesdae het 'n kaartjie? Het jy 'n sparkaart? Het jy 'n OK kaart? Het jy watter kaarte ook al? And maybe link your business with a fuel supplier. So every time that you buy, you go and fill up your tank. You get points for that. This what jy moet sê. This hoe jy jou nothing to do with accounting. Are you awake still, Mrs. Fisher? No, you're not. Nothing to do with the accounting part. This is more how you're going to market your business. So ek het nou gesê hoe gaan jy verkope kan vermeerder. Then other thing you can do is to decrease your cost price. How can you decrease cost price? First thing, buy in bulk. Maar nou moet jy versigtig wees. If this is high value items, then you are not going to buy in bulk. As jy nou Porsche verkoop het, gaan jy nie kan sê ek gaan nou in 'n groot maat koop nie, want wat gaan jy met 30 Porsche maak in jou storeroom? Do you understand? So maybe ask for trade discount. Jy kan vra, kan ek miskien, if this is my supplier, I'm only going to use you as a supplier, will you give me a better trade discount? Jy kan mis dit vra. Is jy by? Yes, who has another suggestion? Kan 'n goedkoper verskaffer kry, but remember, cheaper supply, if you just write cheaper supply, it's not going to give you the full 2 marks. Cheaper supplier with similar quality. Jy moet dit help jy kry 'n goedkoop verskaffer en dan koop jy eintlik nonsens, jy môre bring al jou customers dit vir jou terug nie. Julle gehoor? Cheaper suppliers, similar quality. You must also say buy locally, because local means there's no carriage or anything that you need to pay. Daar's geen vraggeld nie. In this question, buy local would not have worked, want daar is die vraggeld nie. Is julle by? But in a question where they give you carriage on purchases, then you can use it buy locally. Is julle by met hierdie vraag? This is the first question. Second question. Tweede vraagie. Ons kyk nou daai inligting. Sy sê, George Grande is the majority shareholder and CEO of Grande Limited. Kyk mooi wat doen die maatskappy. The company supplies hotels with cabinets and lamps. So ons gaan met kabinette en lampe werk. They use the periodic system. Het jy opgelet, hulle het nie nou vir jou gesê watter voorraadwaardasiestelsel gaan jy gebruik nie. Why not? Because there are two inventory items, and I suppose one will be the one method and die ander een gaan 'n ander metode wees. Dis wat ek aanneem wat in hierdie vraag gaan gebeur. But it will, all of these inventory questions will be periodic inventory system, because this is the only system where you have to calculate the value of the closing stock using a specific valuation method. Al hierdie vrae gaan wees, omdat ek het dit in vraestel 1 ook gevra. Because in the statement of comprehensive income, where you have to calculate if there was trading inventory deficit, kan ek ons vir die waarde van die eindvoorraad ek kan vir dat uitwerk. Ek kan vir jou sê, dit was die beginvoorraad, this is the closing inventory, ek kan vir jou enigiets, ek kan dit vir jou vra, nou. They normally ask it in the first question paper also. Right, required for cabinets, calculate the value of closing stock for cabinets using the first in, first out method. So daar kan jy sien, kabinette gebruik eerste in, eerste uit. So kom ons gaan kyk nou wat is die inligting wat hulle vir ons gegee het. For cabinets, first in, first out, they tell us that we are looking at the information regarding cabinets. Daar staan vir jou voorraadsaldos. On 30 September, the end of the year, there was 280 cabinets. Can you see that? Jy moet die waarde van nou 280 kabinette moet jy nou gaan bereken. Right, now let's see. First in, first out means that the stock we bought last will still be in the shop. Dis moet vir ons weet, né? What did we buy last? The 250 units, maar daar's ook 20 van dit teruggestuur. So how many units do we have of the stock we bought last? 230 times the 1,100 will tell you what's the value of the 230 units we bought last. Is julle by? Dan moet ons nog 50 eenhede kry, because the closing stock is 280 units in total. Ons het nou 230 wat ons laaste gekoop het. The 50 units was obviously bought in April. Dit was R990 per kabinet. So what was my calculation? I had 230 units times 1,100 in 50 eenhede teen R990. If I do that, I get my closing stock is 302,500. Weer eens, ek kan nie onthou hoe punte dit getel het nie. Ek dink dit het getel 6 punte. 6 marks for this one. 6 punte. This is, think rent income is normally at the most 4 marks in the statement of comprehensive income, where you have to work with an X. Hierdie is 6 punte vir 'n sommetjie wat graad 3 kan doen met 'n sakrekenaartjie. So you should be, paper 2 is the easier paper, want die sommetjies is nie so moeilik. Those adjustments are not in paper 2. Dus in hierdie werk, have you seen any ledger account so far regarding inventories? Glad die grootboekrekeninge nie. No statements, nothing, it's all calculations. Right, die volgende vraagie was, bereken die winsgrens persentasie, wat for you to get that, you need to know what the profit is and what the cost of sales is. Dis wat jy moet weet. Jy moet weet wat is die wins en wat is die koste van verkope. Okay? Cost of sales was gegee, of die kosprys, ek wil gaan kyk, ek wil nie die inligting weer sien hierbo. Cost of sales for cabinets. Kon jy dit uitgewerk het? Wat was die vraag? Markup achieved in 2019. They gave me the sales amount for, is it cabinets? Ja. Hulle het vir my die verkope gegee en die koste van verkoop. Het jy gesien? Did you see that? They gave you the sales and the cost of sales. Jy moes geweet het, jy moet bruto wins gaan bereken. You had to know that I must take sales minus cost of sales to get gross profit. If I had gross profit on cost of sales times 100 will give me my markup percentage. As jy dit doen, ek het nou gevat, ek het bruto wins bereken deur te sê the cost of sales minus the sale from the sales, gross profit was 1,309,500. As ek die 1,309,500 vat, divided by cost of sales they supplied times 100 gives me 60,3%. 60,3%. Dit was weer eens 4 punte. It's a silly calculation. 4 marks for that. Dan vra hulle vir jou, jy moet 2 punte gee met syfers. Wag, ons gaan kyk eens aan die vraag. The question said, the company decided to extend the target market and to grant trade discounts to increase sales. Number 2.2, provide 2 points with figures to prove that this decision achieved its aims. Hulle het nou meer verkope, so wat het ek gebeur? So, hulle wil hulle verkope verhoog het. Did sales increase? Yes, it did. Sales increased from 3,480,000, from 3,375 to 3,480,000. So verkope het mos meer geraak, né? Hulle het vir die inligting gegee. And what else did they give you? The number of customers also increased from 26 to 37. Alles is gegee. Jy moet dit gaan neerskryf in 'n sinnetjie. Van waar af kom dit my kind? Ag nee. Ek verstaan nie hoekom Vrydag 21 Junie by 21. Ag, liewe Vader, ek het die hele flippe naweek gesit met nou slaapkamer en buite. Maar ek het my nou daaroor instel nie. Okay. Right, sorry. You can say 2 things. You need to see, remember they wanted to increase their sales. So you must now say, did sales increase? And they wanted to increase their target market. Target market is the number of people buying from them. So jy moet nou gaan kyk, het die verkope meer geraak, het die teikenmark meer geraak. Nou is jy by. Al dit is vir jou gegee. Jy moet dit in 'n sin gaan skryf het. Sales increased from this amount to that amount. It was supplied. Target market increased from this number of clients to that number of clients. Is alles gegee, is 4 punte. The information is supplied, you must write in a sentence. But you had to know that you had to talk about sales and target market, meaning the number of clients. Teikenmark is die aantal kliënte of klante wat jy het. Is jy by daarmee? Next question was, by number 2.2.3, the CEO feels that this decision also negatively affected the company. Provide 2 points with figures to support his opinion. Onthou nou, ons het mos gesê, ons gaan, wat was hy, as ek net weer die vraag voor my kry, want ek het almekaar, antwoord ek myself mooi nie, ek hier weer hoef te gaan nie. He wanted to improve, dat die winsgrens het meer geraak. Right, wat het gebeur? The profit market increased, but what happened to your gross profit? Remember, there's also negative. As jy mooi gaan kyk, jy het mos die bruto wins uitgewerk. You've calculated the gross profit of the 1 year. Is that right? Nee? Hulle het vir jou gesê, the markup achieved was 73%. You just calculated it was 60-something%. So, gross profit percentage decreased. Jou bruto wins persentasie het verminder. And also the number of units per person, per client. Van tevore het hulle 96, and remember he's selling to hotels. Previously, a hotel bought 69 units. Now they're only buying 63. Is julle by daarmee? Do you understand that? Okay. Give the directors advice to solve this problem. Nou, weer eens by dieselfde ding. Maybe you must give more discount. Maybe give cash discount. I can, again, the profit markup must increase, yes. You will have to wait until the end of this period. Why are you going home? Can you just come? I can't. We just finish this because these are my grade 12s. You can just sit here. I will give it to you, Nana. You can maybe perhaps fill this in and I can just sign it. But I can just finish this because I didn't do their homework, my boy. So now they have to listen to me. Of course, they're not matric this year. They're going to repeat it next year. Right. Let's see. Again, how are you going to you want a bigger profit markup or a bigger profit amount. Increase sales, decrease cost of sales. I've already done that in the previous question. Is julle okay? Is julle van? Ek gaan dit nie weer sê nie. Volgende deel van die vraagie was gewees. The next part had to do with lamps. I'm not going to do this. Now listen to what I have to say. And I'm going to put this video or the link to this on your group. Listen to what I have to say. You now have to do the story about lamps. Lamps has to do with, I think it was weighted average, if I can remember this correctly. Stock holding, missing lamps, you must do that. And then television sets has to do with specific identification. Jy moet hierdie vraagie gaan klaarmaak. And then question activity 3. I am going to explain activity 3 tomorrow in class. Kan jy asseblief nie daarna vir my kyk? Look at the information and look at the question. I know it's going to be difficult for you to do, but see if you can figure out a problem. Want hulle vra vir jou vraagie nommer 3. Vra hulle gee vir jou inligting. And then I printed my one as well. They ask you problem solving. Daar is 2 winkels, there's 2 branches. And each of them has a problem. That's vir elkeen van hulle 'n probleem. Sien of jy die probleem kan identifiseer. See if you can identify the problem. You have to complete activity 2 and try and just identify the problem in each of the 2 branches. Dis al wat jy moet doen. Dan gaan ek kyk of jy dit kan regkry because this problem solving is always part of inventory valuation. Dit is regtig iets met voorraad uit te waai nie, maar dit is altyd deel van voorraadwaardasie.